Welcome back. It's the Flow Friday Sports Show on Flow FM. Time to talk to Steve Bennett about the latest results and the upcoming fixture in the Hume branch of cricket, Albury-Wodonga. Steve, great to have you back on. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Dan. Going well.
Very good. We had a good chat earlier in the week about the T20 comp, and of course that will be teeing off again this weekend with the semi-finals, and that's all very exciting. But the Saturday comp is just as exciting. We had some unbelievable results over last weekend. I'm looking forward to hearing all about them. And we're going into the last round of play this weekend, and ladder positions are up for grabs. And it's at a very exciting point of the season. So let's get into some of these results. And Rand all out for 100. Brock Burham, who had a nice easy chase in the T20 comp as well. They chased them down in just 14 overs. So a quick one for Brock Burham and a nice early home time.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brock Burham, as we were talking earlier in the week, they get on with it when they want to score some runs. Bowling Rand out, for 100. Rand were going okay, really. Looking at it, they lost their first wicket at 55. But then lost a lot of wickets very quickly, unfortunately. The openers putting on 25 and 27 respectively, and then, not a lot else to follow. So the Brock Burham boys obviously bowled very well. James Scott getting 3 wickets, Jordan Shield 2, so did very well. And then when it came to the chase, no wickets fell. Joel Felmingham making 71 and all over in 14 overs. So pretty imposing victory by Brock Burham.
Absolutely. Very good victory by Brock Burham. And as the season has gone on, they've started to look like one of the real threats to the top couple of teams. They are as good as anyone right now, and they'll certainly be a chance to be the last team standing when the finals roll around.
Absolutely, yep. The defending premiers are looking good at the right end of the season for sure.
This next game has certainly caught my eye. Holbrook and Walla Walla. Holbrook elected to bowl after winning the toss. Walla Walla 7 for 134 after 40 overs. Holbrook went into chase, 7 for 134 after 40 overs. So the extremely rare tie.
Yeah, it is very rare. I can't actually think the last time that we had one in our comp, to be honest. But even to have the same wickets and everything, it's quite a rarity for us. Walla have been batting very well all year, as we've discussed week in, week out. They went down to Culcairn last week, and Holbrook, to their credit, they've had a bit of a struggle this year, but they've managed to work their way now into the 6. Obviously did very well, restricted Walla to 134 with Mark Taylor top scoring with 50, and local junior Louis Bowen taking the best wicket, 3 for 33 for Holbrook. Yeah, in reply, they were sort of cruising at some stages, Holbrook, looking really good. Louis backed up again with the bat, 54, but came down to the last ball and ended up with a tie.
All right, so there we have it. The first tie, and probably the only tie we'll have all season, goes to Holbrook and Walla. So it's always a bittersweet feeling, a tie, isn't it? You think both teams should be a little bit happy, but usually it's a pretty flat feeling all round.
Yeah, whenever you're at the football and it happens, there's no team song played or anything, and everyone sort of stands around and wonders what's going on. So, yeah, it would have been a strange feeling, but I suppose I think Walla thought the game was gone, so they would have felt very pleased to get those 3 points, and Holbrook maybe just a little bit disappointed not to get that extra run.
Culcairn and Henty played, and it was a pretty easy win for Culcairn. Didn't use their whole 40 overs, bowled out after 35 for 167, but it didn't matter because they had Henty all out for just 91 after 28 overs, so a bit of a wicket fest here.
Certainly was. 2 of the batsmen for Culcairn making 51 in Jackson Lesius and Stephen Brand. So that's there wasn't a lot else in between, to be honest. So those guys really carried the innings. Jordan Clancy picking up four wickets for Henty. 167, you'd certainly think both sides would have gone into the second innings feeling a chance. But, the Culcairn team really came out firing with the ball. Openers Riley Noble and Rory Jenkins taking 2 wickets each pretty quickly, and Lockie Noble chipping in with 3. Yeah, for Henty, a bit of a disappointing run chase. A couple of blokes making over 20, but a lot of single figures there, unfortunately.
Now, you'd think the tie would have been the game of the round, but I think this one might just have it covered. I'm very eager to hear about what happened here in this one. It was the Rock Huron Creek starting off with the bat, made 7 for 173, and then Osborne 8 for 177, and they used their full 40 overs. So it's looked to me like they've hit a boundary to win off the last ball of the match. Is that about the size of it?
Well, it is something like that. The last ball being bowled, Osborne needed 5 runs to win the game. The ball was an above-the-waist no ball, which then the batsmen were able to run 3 and got run out on the going through for the 4th. So scores were tied and the bowler had to bowl another ball and the incoming batsman hit it for 4. So I've never been involved in a game with a result like that where you needed 5 off the last ball and, a series of events led to the result we got.
So they've essentially, with that no ball and running 3, they've essentially hit, 8 runs off the last delivery?
Yeah, absolutely. 8 runs, that's correct.
And they've had a wicket fall in there as well on the rare no ball run out, because you can't get out on a no ball, of course, unless it is indeed a run out.
Yeah. So just going through to try and make the winning run, getting run out, scores tied, and it was up to the club president, Darren Howard, to come out and get the run to win off the last ball.
Wowee, that is bizarre. And the Rock Huron Creek on the bottom of the ladder against Osborne on top of the ladder, and we saw that same sort of upset last week. Yeah,
absolutely. The Rock Huron Creek, they match up very well against any side in the league. They just they do struggle for numbers from time to time with work commitments and things like that. They're a good team. They've just had some personnel issues during the year, which has probably just limited their effectiveness. But you can see when, they put it together, they've Osborne are on top now, and they've come within a whisker of knocking off the team on top. So, they're a good team, the Rock. So they'll be happy to put in a good performance this week to finish the season.
Just 1 week to go. Let's have a look at how the ladder stands. We've got Osborne on top at 10-2, Waller 10 wins, 2 losses and a tie, and then we've got Brock Burham at 9-3, and then it seems like everyone else is probably making up the numbers. There's a big gap between Brock Burham at 9-3 and then Henty at 5-8, Holbrook 5-8 with a tie, Rand and Colcan 4-9, and the Rock Huron Creek 3-9. So look, it's anyone's game, but it looks like Osborne, Waller and Brock Burham are going to be the 3 real contenders at the end of the season.
Those teams will host the final. The top 3 teams host finals, so they'll all be in a good position to go deep into finals. The top 3 can change depending on results this week. Interestingly, all teams at the bottom half of the draw have a chance of making finals, but it's the old mathematical possibility, as they like to say during football season when your team's just about done. But they're all a chance depending on results.
As soon as that word mathematical is coming into play, you're not really a chance. You're holding on to a hope that's not really there. That's my opinion anyway. But Brock Burham playing Osborne this week as well, so could be a preview of a grand final or a semi-final, but certainly a preview of something big that's to come in finals.
Yeah, absolutely. If Brock Burham get over Osborne and Rand get over Waller, then Brock Burham will finish on top because they've got a very superior quotient. It can all change. Waller just needs to win and they become minor premiers if Brock can get over Osborne. So, there's quite a few permutations in play. It'll just work out. It'll just be a matter of who's playing who, but we know that the top 3 is set and we'll host finals the following week.
All right, very good stuff. And just very quickly before we wrap up, in the seconds, it was Holbrook over Walla Walla, Henty over Colcan, Lockhart over Osborne in a bit of a disastrous showing, 17 wickets total falling in just 46 overs of play. Osborne all out for 47, so a bit of a dirty day there. But Brock Burham and Oaklands, looks like this one was a fantastic game. Brock Burham 7 for 150 from their 35 overs, and Oakland's 6 for 146, so they fell just 4 runs short.
Yeah, and Oakland's have really been struggling to score runs of late. Sort of had quite a few innings where they've made less than 100, but they really pushed Brock Burham all the way. And Brock Burham's currently coming third. And good on Oakland's having a crack. They're a very good side. Again, they've been personnel depleted this year. But they'll be looking for a good finish this week. There's still a chance of making finals if they can get a win.
And speaking of falling just short, Jason Weaven not out on 99 at the end of Brock Burham's 35 overs. Carried his bat all the way through the innings, but fell just short of the ton. But he's not out, so it will do wonders for his average. Steve, always good to chat with you. Thank you very much for that update. All the best in the cricket this weekend, and I look forward to chatting with you next week.
No worries at all. Thanks, Dan.